pages and moving on. One afternoon I went down to the harbor. All this and more, baby, all this and more. The boys were drinking and they pulled up a chair. All this and more, baby, all this and more. And as the moon rose and as the songs played, all this and more, baby, all this and more. I left with you and we took it from there. All this, all this, all this and more. It's a poet thing. It's a poet thing. It's just a poet thing. It goes 3 pages and moving on. Sitting here by candlelight, I never go to sleep. I'm sitting here by candlelight, I never go to sleep. Sitting here by candlelight, I never go to sleep. Sitting here by candlelight, I never go to sleep. I am the monk from the mountain of sorrow. All this and more, baby, all this and more. Me with my razors and you with your books. All this and more, baby, all this and more. Most afternoons now I'm down at the harbor. All this and more, baby, all this and more. It's not as black or as deep as it looks. All this, all this, all this and more. It's a poet thing. It's a poet thing. Just a poet thing. 3 pages and moving on. It's a poet thing. It's a poet thing. Just a poet thing. Sometimes the rain is like glass, a mirror that just doesn't care. Sometimes it's me, a finger puppet wagging in the air, a finger puppet wagging in the air. Sometimes the sky bears down, and I carry all the grief I can bear. And sometimes it's me, a finger puppet wagging in the air. Just a finger puppet wagging in the air. And sadness is the truth about things, the truth about things, the real truth about things. Sadness is the truth about things, but smell the smoke in the evening sky. Smell the smoke in the evening sky. Sometimes I sit in this room and I notice it's filled with air. And sometimes there's me, a finger puppet wagging in the air. A finger puppet wagging in the air. A finger puppet wagging in the air. Just a finger puppet wagging in the air. And sadness is the truth about things, the truth about things, the real truth about things. Sadness is the truth about things, but smell the smoke in the evening sky. Smell the smoke in the evening sky. Smell the smoke in the evening sky. Smell the smoke in the evening sky.
When I was a spy, I stuffed some wires in a jam jar, left it buried by the riverbank, where it's transmitting still. This little stretch of road that my dad told me was electric. You could switch your engine off and you would roll right up the hill. Somewhere in the garden there's a circle in the grass. All the blackbirds skirt round it like they see something inside. And the clouds are rolling slowly like they've all the time in heaven. And they don't care when they make it to the far side of the sky. But I'm here, not about to fly, not about to fly, not about to fly to the far side of the sky. Found a twisted lump of metal from a real flying saucer. In the silence of my bedroom I could hear its humming voice. Later in the night when I would hold my breath for hours, I would feel it pulsing through my head, electric and alive. And a shaft of golden sunlight bit into the dusty classroom. And it dawned on me that I was me, not everybody else. The clouds are rolling quickly like they're fleeing from disasters that are just behind the skyline. And it's getting dark and cold. but I'm here. I'm not about to fly, not about to fly. I'm not about to fly to the far side of the sky. China who could jump a wall from standing, and he told me he would teach me, but the moon told him to stop. And a Glasgow engineer was falling headlong from a building when he flipped his body over and landed like a cat. And all the gold in Africa was hidden by the pirates in a little hill in Ayrshire where they play the drums all night. And the drums are moving in like we're searching for someone.
There we go. Just in the corner here, we'll see our divers' fins as they're getting ready to come into the tank. They've finished doing their last minute checks and they've finished getting their gear all sorted. We also noticed there's a massive, there we go, a massive shark just above me here. Her name is Ushaka. She is our largest one in the tank. I have a story about her. So when I say Ushaka, that's who we're talking about. Now, as you can see, there we go. We've got two divers in the tank with us today. We have Heather and we have Emma. Now, one of them is holding a long stick. There you go. Heather's holding a long stick. So that long stick is the only thing that makes this side different from the other ones, essentially. So that stick means that Heather here, and she's going to show off right here actually, she is on guard duty. So there you go. Ushaka right now is actually having a little bit of a sleep. She's being really restful, and Heather there is making sure that Ushaka does not get close to the divers, and mainly to not startle her. Give a wave, everyone. Amazing. Not to give a startle or to, get too close to our divers. So she was just kind of warded away there. So that's what this guard stick is. One of our divers will be on guard duty, shown beautifully so that they don't get too close. Now, they're going to be doing something else today. They're going to be doing some cleaning of the glass, and they're also going to be doing some siphoning. So siphoning is a big underwater hoover. We like to call it a bit of a hoover because it literally hoovers up all the poo and the excess dirt and excess food that might have accumulated across the bottom of the tank. The divers in this tank also have a fun job. They get to pick up little bits of shark teeth that will have fallen out of the shark's mouth. Now, sharks have a really cool ability, and that is that they will never ever run out of teeth in their entire life, including our sand tigers. So these sand tigers here, including Ushaka, essentially they lose teeth at least once a day. On average, sharks will lose 30,000 in their lifetime, and when they have a high calcium diet, like they do here in the aquarium, they literally lose them constantly. So the divers will go down there, get loads of them, and they'll hand them out to us. Which is why having things like shark tooth necklaces are completely sustainable, because they're going to lose them anyway, naturally as part of their diets. Now, the divers have kind of disappeared a little bit, but if you keep a lookout, you'll be able to see loads of bubbles coming up towards the top. Now, I mentioned before that Friday, our green sea turtle has been locked away. Now, the specific reason for that is because if you notice on divers, they have a yellow air tank on the back. At Friday's old aquarium, he was trained using the colour yellow to go towards it, and that's where he'd get his food. What we do here is we use a red target instead. So he sees the colour red and he goes, fabulous, I'm going to get fed. So a little bit of a pro tip if you come back to the aquarium, if you wear all red or like a bright bit of red jumper potentially, and you stand in front of the tank and he sees you, he'll come straight up because he'll be like, oh great, you've got food for me. But forget that there's obviously a lot of glass in the way, so you can't get to the food. Now, Friday is an absolute menace, however. So he still associates yellow and red with food, and so when he sees the divers who've got yellow air tanks, he goes, amazing, they're going to have food for me. Now the divers are busy, they're like, Friday, we have no food, sorry mate. And he doesn't like that, and he bites them on the bum. So that is why Friday is not allowed in the tank with the cool as well. So Ushaka, that I pointed out to you guys before, the big sand tiger shark, she likes to play a little bit of a prank on the divers, and this is all 100% true. Essentially, sharks have a special type of sense. It's called electrosensory. It's one of their 7 senses. What that basically means is if you look along the nose of our sharks and our rays, you'll notice up close they've got loads of black little spots that look like pores. Inside of those are what's called the ampullae of Lorenzini. It's a really fancy term for basically saying it's a jelly-shaped sac that can detect electricity or electrical currents. Now, when we have a new diver that's going to come into the tank, understandably, this tank is the deepest in the entire country. It's 10.5 metres deep, and it holds 9 big sharks and 13 stingrays. So you might be a little bit nervous. So their hearts are going to be quite high. Now, the sharks can sense this because of their electrosensory. And so Ushaka goes, this is going to be quite fun actually. And she goes over and she swims towards that new diver. Now, the diver doesn't realise because they'll be busy doing something, but she will, there you go, just like what she's doing there, she'll come over, swim over the head of the diver, and then she will start to lower herself onto the diver as if to sit on their head. The diver just sees this 3-metre long shadow coming closer and closer towards them. They then look up and go, oh, that's a big shark. And their heart rate naturally is going to skyrocket and it's going to go even higher. She can sense this, thinks it's hilarious, and then swims away. So that is what she'll like to do with the new divers. It's a little prank that she likes to do. But other than that, they are really just doing it because they like to see what's going on. Those bubbles, in fact, if you keep an eye out, there you go, that long string there is the siphon. What they're going to be doing, you'll see, there we go, look, proving my point, Mandela is swimming through those bubbles there. It's almost a bit like a massage to them. They really like the sensation of the bubbles, which is why they like going up to the divers and seeing what's going on, which is really, really cool. Now, the sand tigers as well do something quite similar to what our divers do. So essentially, our divers have that jacket around them that the air cylinder is attached to. That jacket is called BCD, stands for Buoyancy Control Device. Basically inflates and deflates with air. It's how they control their buoyancy going up and down in the water column. Now, the sharks, the sand tiger ones specifically, are the only species of shark that we know of in the world that actually go up towards the top of the surface, take a lump of air, store it in their stomach to then control their buoyancy just the same as our scuba divers do, which is really interesting. So it goes to show that those guys have adapted and able to control their buoyancies, which is really, really awesome. But there you go, you can see all those bubbles there, and you can literally see Ushaka, Mandela, and Howie. Mandela's over there, but Ushaka there, she's swimming right over the bubbles, and so is Zeus, our zebra shark. And the zebra shark is just this one here, the spotty one. Yeah, he's called Zeus. He's a bit of a fan favourite here in the aquarium, and he's really, really cool as well. But the divers will be in here for about 40 minutes. Unfortunately, they've kind of gone towards the back today because they're doing some cleaning, but it does mean that the sharks will be quite active swimming over those bubbles that they absolutely love. But that is it from me. If you guys have any questions at all about the tank, about the divers, about anything like that at all, I'm going to be kind of perched over